Hey there, and welcome to Temporary Locals.
I'm Jared.
And I'm Megan. We're a travel-loving couple who somehow always end up feeling like locals wherever we go. From small towns to some of the world's most iconic wonders, we share our stories, hidden gems, and occasional history or true crime that shape the places that we've actually been. So if you're into travel, storytelling, and a little bit of mystery, then you're in the right place, and we would love it if you would subscribe and join us for the ride. This week, we're going to be taking you to Hell's Church in Canton, Georgia. And we are...
Ooh, scary.
Yes. So, we are entering the month of October.
That's right. Everybody's favorite time of year.
I think so.
Mine included. Especially down south because it starts to get a little cooler.
Yes.
And you're not dying of the heat anymore. You can wear a sweater, you know?
Yeah, like fall is coming, like it's in the air, you know. Yeah. And I'm not, because there's, people have like a favorite season, Everybody's got their favorite season. I would say ours is summer. We love summer, but doesn't mean we don't appreciate fall.
Yeah, summer's great, especially down south, because there's a lot to do and the beach and all kinds of things, but the heat is brutal down here. And so fall is kind of like a little bit of a relief from months of just sweating and 100% humidity every day.
And really high electric bills.
That's, yeah. Ours was like cut in half, like immediately.
Yeah.
When it cooled off.
Yeah, that was crazy.
So yeah, this week on the podcast, this episode is going to be one of, I believe we're doing 4 of these, right?
Yeah, we're like our Halloween specials. Yeah.
So we're going to do an entire month for the month of October of Halloween specials. And the episodes are still going to be travel related. This is a travel podcast, but they're just going to be about some of the more scary, creepy, and haunted places that we've been.
Yeah, some of the spooky stuff. So this first one, like I said, we're going to Hell's Church in Canton, Georgia. We went there, it was May of 2024, and we just happened to be there for, we were traveling. And
on the road looking for something to do.
Yeah. So we went to see a movie.
Yeah. For people that are wondering where Canton, Georgia is, because it is kind of a smaller area. It's the Atlanta area, so we were in Atlanta. And
the outskirts, like the suburbs.
Yeah. And yeah, I feel like Hell's Church isn't really like a super well-known, even amongst like people that are into paranormal and ghosts and things. If you look it up online, there is a lot of information about it, but it's not as well known as like some of the bigger haunted places that we've been, which we'll do other episodes on this month. Hell's Church is a little more obscure and underground, I'd say. But with that being said, it is one of the creepiest places I think I've ever been. And I've been to haunted places and scary, spooky places all over the country, all over the world, really. And this one was definitely creepy.
Yeah, I would agree. I don't think that it mattered that we saw a scary movie before we went. Like, I feel we'll get into like our experience there. But I feel like that didn't change it. That didn't have an impact on it. The fact that we went to see a scary movie.
Well, I feel like it kind of did for me anyway. I think we were in kind of a heightened state. So yeah, the night kind of started out. We went and saw the movie The Strangers 2, The Strangers Part 2.
Yeah.
Which is a movie about psychopathic killers that stalk people and murder them. The first Strangers movie that came out, I saw when it came out, and I think it's a really underrated series. I think it's a really underrated horror movie. It's scary in that it's realistic. There's nothing paranormal about it. It's not about ghosts or demons.
It's just humans harming humans.
Yeah, it's just what people do to other people, and it also does a really good job of, it doesn't really explain any reasoning. There's no, real backstory to it. It's just a movie about people that decide to go out and harm other people, and I think there's something visceral about that. because that's a part of the human experience, unfortunately. And so I think psychologically it's a really I think it's a deep movie in that way, you know. Even at the end of the movie, when the girl's tied up in the first one, when the girl's tied up and she asks the killers, like, why are you doing this to us? And one of the masked killers leans down and says to her, just because you were home.
Yeah.
You know, which kind of says that it was just kind of a random thing, and they were the only ones that happened to be home at the time, and that's why they chose them.
Yeah, and the, like, just terror that one line has, and just, like, you know, the dread, and, like, because I just feel so unlucky in that moment, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, so I think for those reasons that movie is just... It's a really great horror movie that I don't think gets enough credit. But with that being said, they did come out with a part 2, and we went and saw it in theaters. And I feel like after the movie, because it was a pretty late showing.
It was in the evening. It wasn't super duper late.
And so afterwards, we were still kind of in that, like, creepy vibe kind of. We kind of had, like, the feeling we wanted to do something else that was kind of scary.
Yeah, well, I think we had planned. We were like, we're going to go see this movie, and then we're going to go to Hell's Church. So I think we planned to do it this way.
Yeah. So yeah, that's what we did. We went and saw a horror movie about psycho killers, and then went to a haunted church.
Yeah. And that night, it was a full moon.
Yep.
So there was light from that aspect, like from the moon, because it was so bright, but there's also so to get there, it's kind of in a neighborhood, like it's you drive for quite a while. I don't know how many miles it is, but through this long, windy, almost feels like a one-way road at some points, but you're passing like houses and driveways, and then you start getting just deeper into the woods, and then the houses are like further and further from each other. And that road is actually, it's pretty dark. There's no lights on that, but when you get to the church, there is like street lights, just a few, kind of by the graveyard.
Yeah, well, and the road was a dirt road, and it went deep into the woods. And it was very windy, and I think we passed a couple vehicles, and there were some houses out there. But yeah, once you get so far out, there's really not much out there other than this church.
Yeah, the drive up there felt creepy because we didn't know what we were, what to expect. So.
Yeah, we kept imagining just like our headlights illuminating like somebody standing in the middle of the dirt road in the woods with like an axe or something.
Yeah, and the road went from paved to dirt road to then paved again by the church. It's paved, and then the parking lot of the church is paved.
Right.
Yeah. And I remember when we went, there's like a big stump kind of over by the church, and out carved in it, it looks like it's kind of like a big chair, but there was like a teddy bear sitting in it.
Yeah.
And I remember being so creeped out by that. I would not walk near it. And it was darker over there, too. Like, you could see it, and you could tell that it was a teddy bear, because I think I took some pictures of it and kind of zoomed in. And we'll put that on our Instagram if you want to check us out on Instagram at TemporaryLocalsPod. But, yeah, I remember being so creeped out by that.
Yeah. Yeah, like I said, it's definitely one of the creepier places I've been. It has a long, sordid history, which we'll get into, but there's just a vibe to it. And when we got out, we shut the car off because I didn't want, like... It almost felt like, even though it's a public place and it's a church, because of the history of it, and because they've had issues with vandalism and different things going on at this church, which, again, we'll get into, it almost felt like we weren't supposed to be there.
Yeah.
Like, we didn't want anybody to see that we were there, and... We don't want to bring attention to ourselves because we're out in the middle of the woods. We're at this haunted church.
We just saw strangers too.
Right. So yeah, we were kind of like, we weren't trying to like make a lot of noise. I think we shut the car doors kind of quiet. We didn't really slam them.
Yeah. We
shut the lights off, and it had a really unsettling aura around it.
Yeah, I did. Like, and we'll go into like some of the history and like some of the like quote unquote like reported hauntings that people have said too, but a lot of the theme is like you get this feeling of like a negative entity or like just this overall like feeling of dread, and I felt that for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And there's there's the church, and then down in the woods there's like a baptismal pool, which most churches nowadays, like the baptismal pool is inside the church, right. It's smaller. Like this is outside an in-ground baptismal pool that I probably could have looked up the dimensions, but it's a pretty big pool, like for as far as like a baptism, like you can fit way more than one person in there. Mm-hmm. So it's probably like 6 feet deep, and then maybe 5 feet, I don't know, and then it's probably like 12 by 8. Mm-hmm. It's a square, not a square. That's not a square. It's a rectangle, in the ground. And yeah, I remember just having that feeling of dread down there too. Mm-hmm. And we went down there in the dark, so that's on us.
Yeah, it was very dark there, and it was also eerily quiet. Because it's pretty deep into the woods. But I remember there wasn't a lot of sound of like what you would hear in the woods, crickets or whatever. It seemed very silent. Yeah.
And for being May when we went, there was not like any cicadas or anything. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was very quiet. So the church is located on Shoal Creek Road in Canton, Georgia, and it's actually not called Hell's Church. It's actually called New Hightower Baptist Church. But it became Hell's Church as rumors of like hauntings and murders on the ground have generated a new nickname for it over the years. Yeah, when you pull up to it, I thought this, it looks like an old schoolhouse. It's completely white, and it's got like a big steeple at the top. And I kind of thought like it almost makes it more eerie because it's all white, and you would associate white with like goodness or like heaven or like purity,
right? Yeah, which a lot of churches, especially like old Baptist churches in the South, you would expect them to look. And that's the thing, is it's called Hell's Church, and it kind of has this like history behind it and everything. When we pulled up and we got out and you first look at the church itself doesn't seem it's very unassuming. It doesn't strike you as, I mean, you can tell it's old, but it looks just like any normal church, really. But it definitely has a aura about it, and I'm somebody who definitely believes in, energies. And I believe that, energies can kind of grab onto a specific place or person. And when a place has seen or been the site of such like horrific things, then you can definitely feel the heaviness in the air. You can tell,
Yeah, I believe in energies.
Yeah. I mean, people will tell you that. Even people that aren't religious or spiritual or don't believe in the paranormal, people will tell you when you go to Gettysburg, you go to the battlefield in Gettysburg, like you can feel it. There's something there. Yeah. When you go to like Auschwitz, or you go to, a place like that, or the death camps in Cambodia, like a lot of these places that have seen a lot of horrific, terrible things.
Human to human things.
Yeah, they really kind of hold on to those bad energies. And so you feel that at this place. It feels a lot like that. It's very heavy.
Yeah. Yeah, I would agree. So there's on the front, like in the front of the church, because it's been, I guess, burned down, but on the front of the church it says it's like a monument. It kind of looks like a headstone. I don't know if it was made maybe after that church was built, but it says, quote, "A remnant from New Hightower Baptist Church, burned by vandals, 1990. New Hightower Baptist Church, constituted in 1886 as a school, church, and for the burial of the dead." Mm-hmm. So, I don't know if we mentioned it, but there is a graveyard right across the street. Fun fact. what is it? Graveyards are next to churches and cemeteries are not. I think that's the way it goes. That's the difference.
Yeah, you got that right on one of the ghost tours we took in, I think it was Savannah.
Yeah. One of them, they were like, "Oh, do you know the difference between a graveyard and a cemetery?" And I was like, "Well, yes, I do."
Yeah. Yep.
So, yeah. And like I said, there's the baptismal pool. It is located behind the church through some like sparse woods. And you can see, like, even when we were down there, there's like evidence that people have partied there. There's like beer bottles and just kind of like garbage around the area, and there's vandalism in the pool itself on the concrete. I don't think I wanted to take pictures at the pool. I felt very creeped out, and I remember like you kind of wanted to hang out a little bit, and I was like, I don't want to be here anymore. Like I want to go back up to where the light was and by the car, like, and we had flashlights, or at least our phone flashlight, which isn't much, but right. Yeah, I remember being very, very creeped out. But I did notice, because I was kind of doing a little bit of research, and I saw the Google reviews for the church, and I read a couple of them. And one of them, somebody said that, like, this is a known spot, like, when they were in high school, like, for people to come to the baptismal pool and conduct seances.
Yep. And that's kind of what you hear about with the history of this church, is it kind of goes back to the 1980s satanic panic is that era that they called it. And yeah, they talk about this was the place where Satanists would come and perform rituals, particularly in the baptismal pool. But you know, you can see, I think they've covered most of it up now, but you could see old pictures of graffiti, a lot of pentagrams, upside down crosses, you know, 666s, all those kinds of things that you see, you know, stupid kids doing at the time and everything. But I think with this place in particular, it kind of took an even darker turn and made people kind of start thinking that perhaps this is more than just a couple of, you know, dumb kids being stupid teenagers, because they reportedly found a body in the baptismal pool of a young boy. Yeah.
And that's something in our research that we kind of uncovered, you could say, was that there was a body of a young boy, and they assumed it was a cult killing in the 1980s, like you said, but no proof of this has been shared widely. So I don't know where that came from. If it was, you know, in the 1980s, maybe, is it rumor? Because I feel like that you'd be able to find some sort of article or something like that. And maybe it is out there, it's just not on the internet. Maybe we'd have to go to like a library or something to find something like that. Because, I mean, it could be the case that that really did happen, and maybe, like, and this is totally speculative. We're just spitballing here, throwing out theories. Maybe the church was like, we don't really want this out there, so they, like, tried to suppress it.
Right.
I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah, especially if the church itself was already getting a lot of attention negatively. You know, I would assume, when you're religious and you belong to a church, you want your congregation to be known positively in the community. You want your church to be a place people come to feel safe. And, you know, if your church is the site of hauntings and satanic rituals, that doesn't really look good on your brand. So, but yeah, so another thing that I think is important to point out, when you kind of look some of this stuff up on the church, and it talks about, it says, and like you said, in the stone pillar out front, that says about how vandals burned it down. And that's what it says online, is that vandals burned it down. And so you're thinking, like, these are people that were, you know,
just being destructive,
trying to be destructive, burn down a church or whatever, or maybe even Satanists themselves. But what you learn, the more you look into this, is that it was actually the local townsfolk that did burn the church down. And so that just goes to show you that, like, people believed that this place was haunted. Even the local people, they believed that this place was the site of satanic rituals. They believe that bodies were found here. You know, they believed the myth and the mysteries behind this place. So the locals are the ones who actually got together and said, we need to get rid of this place. This place is evil. So.
Yeah. Yeah. And I swear it's like coming to me now, but I didn't find it in any of my research. But I thought we maybe watched a video or something like that. There was some story about a man and his son or something like that. And there was some kind of like.
Yeah.
Are you.
That's what I thought the body they found. I thought somebody tried to avenge their family member.
Yeah.
That had died.
There is something that like. Yeah. I don't remember seeing that, like, you know, in the research that I did. But I do remember watching like a video where somebody was talking about it, but I couldn't really find anything to support that. So there could be more lore to this Hell's Church than, you know, we're sharing now. So.
And I'm sure there is. You and I are not by any means experts or expert, you know, investigators or anything. So there are YouTube videos out there that you can go watch, people going to the church. There's articles on, like I said, it's a little more obscure and underground, but you can find articles people have written about the church. So I mean, there is information out there. This is just our kind of experience.
Yeah, our experience, and then, you know, a little bit of things that we looked up. One thing that I didn't know about the history and came from paranormalsouth.com is that there was a Native American site discovered in 1995 at the current location where there's a Walmart at the exit 20 Riverstone Parkway area. And during that construction is when they discovered that like Native American site. And so the graves were relocated from that. Are those the graves that are like most of the graves that are at the church?
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think that's like what I got from reading that. So in the Walmart parking lot today, the modern parking lot, used to be graves there. So they disturbed Native American ruins and burial grounds and moved them to build a Walmart.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, they didn't know, right? They found out while they were constructing it. I mean...
Yeah, I think you're supposed to do, anytime there's like large scale construction going on, I thought that they would call in a team. They do this in archaeology. Anytime they're going to put in some sort of large complex or a road or railroad,
where they're going to disturb a lot of land.
Yeah, they'll call in an archaeological team that will do a survey to make sure that nothing's going to be disturbed. And one reason for that, aside from like the destruction of like precious artifacts, is graves, things like that. And so anybody that knows anything about Native American burial grounds, if you've ever seen any movie ever, you know, Pet Sematary, you know, it's like, you don't touch that stuff. You leave it be. Move your Walmart, you know, half a mile away.
Yeah, right.
You know? So yeah, I don't think that helped either. Because yeah, the cemetery is also very creepy. There's also a tree in the cemetery, which we'll get into. You want to tell them about that?
Yeah. So it's right in the cemetery. It's this huge tree just like branching off, like, and when we were there with the full moon, it looked creepy. Yeah,
this really was a scene that was like a straight up. It's really good that we're doing this episode for our part 1 of our Halloween specials. Because specifically this night was such like a Halloween night with the full moon. Yeah, it's a giant oak tree in the cemetery. It looked like a picture out of like a Halloween movie. You know.
Yeah, no, for sure. Would totally agree. But it's been referred to as the hanging tree. Mm-hmm. I could not find any evidence, but also we kind of chatted about this earlier. So reportedly there's no data or accounts that exist to document that this was a hanging tree. But you gotta think, who's really documenting that stuff unless there's like somebody took a photograph and you could find it somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
It could be something that really did happen. We just have no evidence of, but
right. Yeah, just like the kid that was supposedly found in the baptismal pool, the hanging tree, we couldn't find any actual evidence that it was used for that. However, we're talking about the South.
Yep.
In the 1800s, I think it's very likely that people were hung there. The fact that specific tree is called the hanging tree, we're in the deep South.
Yeah, and before 1995, there wasn't a church there.
Right. So.
Yeah. Another like eerie aspect of it is just like, something to think about. I pulled together some like reported hauntings that I found, and there's a few that are like kind of collectively, like people report hearing organ music kind of coming from the church when there's nobody inside, and you can tell that there's nobody inside. I don't even think that there is an organ in the church.
They probably took it out.
Yeah, they were probably like, we're sick of hearing this. And then people report seeing figures or lights moving on the church grounds. And similarly, like finding orbs in pictures. And how do you feel about orbs? Because I don't know. I'm not a believer. I just think cameras are cameras and light does some things. And
I think you can capture some really odd things that you can try to explain away by saying that cameras and light do funny things, but I don't know. I've also seen video and other footage that just, it's like, there's no way that's a light, or there's no way that that's from the camera.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know. I think I could be convinced, but I don't know. I'm more doubtful of like orbs being a thing in photographs. I've had people try to like convince me, or like, been taking pictures and seen something like orb-like in the picture, but it's like there are other lights around. It could be a speck of dust that caught a piece of light, but
Yeah. So. I think if orbs were that easily explained away, then they wouldn't be a thing.
Yeah.
But they are a thing. And I've talked to like paranormal people and people that are actual like investigators, and they're quick to debunk ones that really are just easily explained, but there are instances where it's just that what that orb is doing doesn't make sense. That's not what light does. That's not a reaction from the camera, but I say that to say orbs don't really do anything for me, anyway. If I see a video that has like an orb in it or something, and even if it is a ghost, it's like, oh, it's a fucking ball of light. The videos that creep me out are the ones that you can see an actual figure, an actual human figure, whether it's like translucent or like, moving. Those are the ones that creep me out, because it's like, that's not a person, obviously. You can see through them. Yeah. But you can make out that it's a person. And especially if that person is wearing like, clothes of a different time period or something that just doesn't make sense. To me, that creeps me out more than, an orb.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I can get on that. Seeing videos like that, or I don't know, sometimes even the like footage of people like with the EMF meters or whatever, or like hearing like audio, they come across my my feed all the time, and I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Some of it, there was a really funny one the other day. I'll have to try to find it and send it to you, but it was like this guy at a graveyard, and he's like talking, and then you can hear whatever sound comes off the EMF thing, and he says something, the ghost like says something, and then the guy toots Like he farts on the camera and the ghost laughs.
Is it like supposed to be funny or is it real?
No, I think it's real. Well, I mean, I think
But it's not like a funny video. It's like
no,
he really thinks the ghost laughed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't know if it's real, but gosh, that was hilarious. But yeah, I say that to say I have a hard time. Like, I believe in ghosts. I believe that there are like energies, I guess. And they, some can do things, I guess. But I've never experienced it, and I hope to never experience it. It's fascinating, but like, keep it over there.
Yeah.
But the same thing, like we mentioned earlier, a lot of people reported just claiming to feel like a quote unquote negative presence or on these grounds.
I do want to throw it out there that we have more episodes coming up of haunted places we've been, so I don't want to give too much away, but I have actually gotten a picture of a ghost before. And so I will talk about that when we do that episode. But yeah, I've taken a photo before, and it was in the same location that photos were known to have images of a spirit. And when I snapped my photo, I actually have done this. Yeah, I don't want to get into it because we haven't done the episode yet, but I've taken that photo a number of times, never got anything, but one time I actually did get something, which I don't want to say right now, but
I'm so curious.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we'll get into it.
I got to find the photo.
Okay.
But yeah.
Oh, I'm so curious.
Yeah.
I want to know. I almost want to pause it, but we won't. We'll keep going. This last one of a haunting, I don't know what year it was, but it was reported that a man visited the church in July, and again, he, quote, had a negative entity attack him in the woods, is what he claimed, by the baptismal pool. He said he reported feeling a cold spot, and mind you, that was in July. In July in the South, you don't feel cold
anywhere.
spots. Yeah.
Especially in middle of Georgia.
Yeah.
It gets hot.
Yes. So a cold spot would be noticeable. And he reported a quote unquote long claw or nail run from one shoulder blade across his back to the other. He said he heard a faint voice say, "Follow me," and then later found 3 claw marks on his leg.
Wow.
You all right? What do you think of that?
You all right? Shout out Garrett.
His name is Jarrett.
Is it?
Yes, because it was similar to yours, but it ended with a T.
People are going to be like, what the hell are they talking about?
Oh my gosh.
He was a ghost tour... what do they call it?
Yeah, a guide. A ghost
guide,
tour
yeah.
guide. Yes. And he...
What if he listens to this? I don't want to be mean.
No, we're not being mean. It was just so... Like, we talk about him probably at least once a day just because his mannerisms were... Yeah. We just thought they were so funny.
Yeah.
He would, like... We were on this ghost tour and...
There was only 4 of us.
Yeah, there was only 4 of us. It was on Halloween.
Yeah.
In Myrtle Beach. Yeah. And so we're on this ghost tour and...
When you think haunted, because we've been on ghost tours all over Savannah and Charleston, all these like really haunted places. You don't think of... When you think of Myrtle Beach, you don't think of haunted.
Yeah.
You just don't. It's like... It's very commercialized. There's a Ripley's Believe It or Not right there. Like... And yeah, we were on this ghost tour and he was trying his hardest to like make it scary. And I felt so bad, but he was just...
Yeah. No, he'd like say something and then he'd be like, all right, as he's like starting to turn and like keep walking on the tour. Or he would be like, he would say, he'd say something like, tell a story and then like be done with the story. And then he'd be like, so what do you think about that?
Yeah. He would like tell the story and then like he'd end the story and wait for our reaction and nobody would say anything. And he'd just be like, All right.
Like, and I think he mentioned that he started doing the ghost tours because he had like an issue with like public speaking and he just wanted to get better at it. So like, good on him because he was out there doing the thing. But
no, he was a nice kid.
He was nice and he was good. Like, he told the stories and whatever. But we were having a ball during that because I remember we went to one part where he was like, "This." We stopped and he was like, "This is one of the scariest places in Myrtle Beach." And we were by a public restroom and we audibly were like, the public restrooms?
Yeah. No, when we went to the one little courtyard and he was telling us a story about a place, behind us, and he's talking about how it's haunted. And the whole time he's standing there talking, telling us this haunted story, there's a crackhead behind him, literally smoking crack. Literally on the bench behind him. And we're all just looking at this guy. And he's trying to like tell us a scary story. And we're like, bro, Myrtle Beach is scary enough. Like,
yeah. Oh my gosh. And yeah, it was Halloween. We were dressed up.
Oh yeah, we showed up dressed up and nobody else was.
We were dressed up as pirates, and yeah, nobody else was. And the strip on Myrtle Beach was so dead.
It was, yeah. I was like, oh man, it's Myrtle Beach, it's Halloween, it's gonna be crazy. We were like there was nobody.
Yeah.
Other than crackheads smoking crack,
which was a crazy sight to see. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was an interesting tour. We just went off.
They wonder why people don't take their families there anymore. It's like...
Yeah. We just went off on a tangent. We were not meaning to get on Myrtle Beach, but yes, that's one of our like inside joke mannerisms. All right.
Yeah, we thought about doing an episode on Myrtle Beach for our ghost tour, but I was like, it wasn't really scary to me. Myrtle Beach doesn't seem haunted. There's areas around Myrtle Beach that definitely are haunted, which we just visited last weekend.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, because we talked about, we've already kind of settled in on what options we're going to do for these, like, Halloween specials for the next few episodes. But we talked about doing, because we've done quite a bit of ghost tours, we talked about doing like a recap of ghost tours. I think we ended up not doing that. We might kind of combine that in our last one. Yeah. But there is a story around sort of the Myrtle Beach area, Pawleys Island area, that I do want to talk about on one of our episodes. Probably be the last one.
Yeah, I think our last episode is going to be an episode called Haunted Dixie, and it's just going to be a compilation of a bunch of haunted places that we've been in the South. The South is a very haunted place, a lot of history, a lot of bloody history here, so it makes sense that there's a lot of scary stuff to talk about down here.
Yeah.
And Hell's Church is one of them, so let's get back to it.
Yeah.
So we walked around. We obviously didn't go in the church, but you could kind of see inside of it, right?
Yeah, we did go look inside.
Mm-hmm.
And I did see little lights, but it looked like more like a security system.
Yeah, didn't they have a red light in there? I remember there was like a red light.
Yeah, and I don't remember it feeling like, oh, that's something weird. Like, I think it was just like normal, like, lights that you might have on, like a smoke detector light, or like you could see like the infrared and like maybe a camera or something.
Mm-hmm. I feel like, and this is going to sound silly because we should have remembered it if it happened, but didn't we hear something odd? Did we hear bells or something? Or no, do you know what it was? We remember it was late at night, right? Dark. And all of a sudden, because it was silent, it was quiet. And then all of a sudden, didn't we hear a bunch of birds? Which is weird to hear at night, right? You don't hear birds at night normally.
And they like flew overhead. Yeah.
Yeah, we
just heard
a bunch of birds.
It was like squawking and they all flew away. And it was like, all right, time to go.
Yeah.
I think that's when we left.
Yeah.
It wasn't like we were running, but we were like, I remember I couldn't wait to get out of there.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely had a creepy vibe to it. It's those kind of places that always seem the scariest to me. Because as we're going to go through some of our other haunted places we've been, a lot of them are like well-known haunted places that they do ghost tours, like the USS Yorktown, the Charleston Jail, the city of Savannah. Like the entirety of Savannah is built on fucking a burial ground. It's all haunted.
Yeah.
But it's places like this that have like they're not
so
well known. yeah, unassuming, but they have such a dark history that it's like, it's almost like this place is, and this is going to sound silly, but it's almost like this place is too scary to like
be mainstream.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you wouldn't take a tour group on here, you know? I mean, obviously it's like a private property and stuff, but yeah, it has a real dark feel to it. It's not like fun scary like some of the other stuff.
Yeah, it does. Like that recurring like theme of just like negative, like you don't feel good there. And we didn't go back during the day or anything like that, but we've seen videos of people, you know, both day and night, and it's the same.
Yeah.
Everybody reports just feeling not good.
Yeah. And there's something to be said about a lot of the other places that we've mentioned. Despite it being like a dark history, it's like important history. You know, like the Yorktown. It's an old battleship. It's got dark history and it's haunted, but it's like important American history. You know, same thing with, you know, all the places that we kind of talked about. A place like this has like, it's not important history. It's just like bad history.
Yeah.
You know, it's like just murder and satanic rituals and people.
Possibly.
Yeah. And so it's not like, you know, it's not like Gettysburg where it's like, oh, well, that's a part of like American history. Like it's important. Mm-hmm. This is just like an evil place with a sordid background.
Or yeah, at least it feels that way. And I wonder how much of it is like psychological, because that church is still operational. Like they still have service on Sundays. Mm-hmm. It might not be every Sunday, but it's still operational. Like they still hold service. People still go there. Yeah. If you look at the Google reviews, there's like people talking about, you know, oh, I'm a member of this congregation. They flip flop, because some of them are like, I'm a member of this congregation. I've never had any problems at this church. Blah blah blah. And some others are.
Yeah.
You know.
You have to imagine, though, we also went at night, you know, in the dark after seeing a scary movie. So, you know, it might not have that same kind of vibe during the day, but it definitely did at night.
Yeah. It's got a 4.8 on Google.
Well, that's not bad. That's better than Chipotle down the street.
Just looking at some of the reviews, this one says it was pretty cool. It was a nice hike if you're into that. There was a pit behind the church that was a bit eerie, had some writing on it.
We're sitting here doing a whole episode about how scary it was. This person, what's her name? Go up.
I don't want to call him out.
Oh, yeah, that's probably, yeah.
Yeah, no, I don't want to call him out. You'll see if you go look up the Hightower Church reviews. This one says, this is my family's church and cemetery, and I can say that not once did I ever witness or experience any kind of haunting or anything like that going on here. I've spent many days and nights here in the past 40 years. It's just a very old place way off a long curvy road. If anyone would like to meet me there, I would be more than happy to show you around.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
It got weird at the end there. If anybody wants to meet me there.
This place is totally not creepy. There's no Satanism, no satanic rituals, I promise.
Yep, come meet me here late at night. But yeah, it was a good time. It was a good night. After seeing a scary movie, going out and doing that, it definitely creeped us out. And I even remember that night when we got back to the hotel we were staying in, we were still kind of creeped out, you know? Yeah. It kind of puts you in that mood.
Yeah. Yeah, you just kind of leave there with an eerie feeling.
Yeah. Which I think that was around the same time we went and saw another scary movie. What was it? Late Night with the Devil, I think?
Yes.
Is the name of the movie?
Late Night with the Devil at the Mall of Georgia.
Mm-hmm. At the Mall of Georgia. And which the Mall of Georgia, for anybody that doesn't know, it's the largest mall in Georgia. It's a big mall. It's not like the Mall of America or anything, but
it's in Atlanta, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's in Beaufort, I think, yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's all Atlanta. But, you know, I went and saw Late Night with the Devil, which is... It was a good movie. I liked it, but it was very like psychological in a way, very trippy. It was kind of like Twilight Zone-ish.
Yes, that movie.
And it's funny because after we left that movie, remember we went to go leave.
Oh, I will never forget that.
And we went to go out like a back exit, or what we thought was a back exit.
Well, no, because okay, so some people and like my family always would, like, when we leave a movie theater, instead of going out through the lobby, we'll just exit through the exit that's in the theater, right? This time they had closed the mall down, so we couldn't exit the same way we came in. So we couldn't walk through the mall, like we had to exit. And it took us off this weird construction place in the backside of the mall, and like coming from that Twilight Zone-y movie, being like confused on like what's happening. And like,
because we expected to walk out this door out into the parking lot, and we went through into like another corridor, and there was like lights hanging and like flickering, and there was like, it was like insulation kind of hanging. It was, it just was not welcoming. And we couldn't find our way out. We kept going. We like went upstairs, downstairs.
We had to go up a flight of stairs, like down this hallway, and then down some stairs. Yeah, it was, and we were like, ha ha ha. Like we were trying to like, you know, act like we weren't creeped out, or like, you know, trying to make the most of it. But it was creepy. Yeah. It was creepy, and we ended up making it out, obviously, because we're here to tell a tale. But it just, after that movie, it was like, whoa.
Yeah.
What a weird experience, but a really fun experience to look back on, because we look back and laugh on it now. Like, remember when we got stuck in the Mall of Georgia, or we thought we were never going to make it out? We thought we were in a labyrinth.
Yeah. Well, that same mall is the mall where Patrick and I went to a movie one night, and we parked on one side of the mall and like walked through the mall to the movie theater inside. And after the movie was over, it was late, and so the mall was closed. So we literally had to walk around the entirety of the mall to get back to the car.
Yeah.
And like I said, the Mall of Georgia is huge. And so we had to walk like a mile around the mall to the car, and it was late at night. Everybody was gone, and a security guard, I remember, pulled up, like mall security, like turned on his lights, woo, woo, you know?
Yeah.
And some old guy pulled up, and he's just like, he thought we were like doing something wrong. Like, he's like, what are you doing on the property or whatever? And we're like, dude, we just got out of the movie. Like,
trying to make it back to our car. Can you please give us a ride?
Yeah. He's like, oh, okay. And he drove away, and we're like, fuck, he could have at least given us a ride.
Yeah. You should have called an Uber.
Yeah.
I need an Uber to get me back to my car.
Yeah.
From the Mall of Georgia. Well, alrighty.
So that is Hell's Church.
Yeah, that's it this week. Thank you guys for listening.
Yeah.
All right. So as we said, we have some things planned for the rest of October. So tune in for some spookier episodes. We already kind of teased one, which is going to be the Haunted Dixie one. But until then, you can find us on social media, Temporary Locals. We are on, of course, Spotify, YouTube, and Instagram at Temporary Locals Podcast. You can find Jared on Instagram at Rover_Stover and on YouTube at Rover Stover. And then I am on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and Facebook at mego.goes.global. And if you guys liked this episode, we would encourage you to share it, engage on it, however you feel comfortable. Like, comment, leave a review, send it to your friends.
Yeah. Send it to everybody. Send it to your boss. Yeah. Don't send it to your boss. You'll get fired.
But with that,
I'm Jared.
And I'm Megan. Thank you guys for exploring with us.
And be a local anywhere you go.
Bye.
Bye.